Morning. Will the delegate assembly please come to order? Pretty clear we have a quorum out there. Hope all the delegates have voted, done their civic duty. Captain Palenzuela, will you please lead us in the pledge?
My pleasure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be looking over the minutes. And while you're doing that, we will launch right into the law enforcement report. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good morning, everyone from the Sheriff's Office. Hope you guys are having a great day. It's a beautiful March morning in South Florida, unlike some other parts of the country. So I'm going to turn it over to Lieutenant Hill in a few minutes to talk about the law enforcement report. We had a pretty good month last month, very little incidences within the village. One thing I'd like to discuss, every month we come up here and we talk about fraud prevention. There's other underlying issues. We all know the overt fraud, where they try to get you guys to send in money to fix your computer, or someone, the scam is readily apparent. You get the mail and the letter from the Nigerian prince who wants you to send all kinds of money overseas. There's other, our detectives have brought it to our attention that there's been instances where there's been a little bit of not covert fraud, but misunderstanding with contracts, where as people in Century Village become a little bit older and they don't quite understand long, complex contracts, vendors are coming in and the individual thinks they're signing for something, a certain service, but then a couple pages later in the contract, there's additional services and additional costs that are embedded within that service agreement. And it's a legally binding agreement once you sign it all. So after the fact, it's reported to law enforcement. It's difficult for us to disentangle the victim or potential victim from a legal contract, because it becomes a civil matter. So just be aware of what you're signing, the vendors that you bring in your house. Make sure that they're reputable, that they were referred to you word of mouth. If you have other neighbors that might be a little bit more frail and not as understanding or savvy, help them. If they need pest control, or they need a cleaning service or something else where they're going to be doing some type of long-term service, say, hey, before you sign something or you agree to something, if you need some help, my son's an accountant, or my son's an attorney, or I have this kind of expertise. Help them before they sign something, because it's very hard once you sign that contract to disentangle someone, because it becomes a civil matter. So we just wanted to bring that to your attention. And with that, I'll hand it over to Lieutenant Hill.
Morning, everyone. Morning. Congratulate yourselves. It was a very good month. We had no burglaries reported, either vehicle or residential. Is it not working? Let me try and raise it up. Is that better? Okay. Very good month. No burglaries reported of any type, either vehicle or burglary or residential, so that's very good. We had one fraud case that was reported to us. The victim was contacted ostensibly from the FBI, saying that she owed $1 million, and she was told to wire $25,000 to Hong Kong to take care of this. Now, thankfully, she recognized this for what it was, and there was no loss, but maintain your vigilance. We had 3 thefts reported. All of them were bicycles. One of them was a rather expensive electric bike. We have recovered that, and we've made an arrest on that case. The other one, well, thank you. I'm here every week. No, I'm just kidding. We had another bike that was stolen from in front of a unit, and they left another bike in its place.
How nice.
Yeah. And then another third bike was also reported taken. So, lock them up. For some reason, somebody likes bikes, so take care of them. We had 2 minor assaults reported. Both of them didn't sustain any injuries. They were little minor incidents, and in both cases, the victim refused to move forward with it, so they stopped right there. 204 total events and 57 reports. Most of those are informational type reports, some landlord-tenant issues, things of that nature. Traffic activity was very good. We only wrote a few tickets last month. I guess our wave in January kind of got everybody's attention. So everybody was being good, so thank you for that. And with that, I'll take any questions. Wow.
Well, see you at our security meeting this afternoon.
See you this afternoon. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. All right. Having had plenty of time to look over the minutes, are there any corrections to the minutes? Uh-oh.
Here comes one.
Hi, I'm Judy Amsler on the board of Canterbury F. I'm thinking I might have a memory lapse, but correct me if I'm wrong. But I think under the officer's report, Barbara Kernish encouraged everyone to come to the AMR meeting that was held on February 20th, I think it was. So that should be in the notes too. Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm not sure. Does that impact on the minutes? Was there a... All right. No problem. All right. Seeing no further corrections, the minutes will be accepted. All right. Hold on. And yeah, that's fine. And let's go on to the treasurer's report. Eddie? Sebastian. Oh.
Good morning, everyone. So you'll notice that the financial reports look a little bit different this month. For January 2019, we talked about that we were going to do a comparative between January 2019 and January 2018. As each month goes forward, it's going to be a year-to-date. So in February, we'll include the 2 months compared to the previous 2 months. And on the second sheet, you'll see January versus the budget. On the budget line item, as you go down that list, that includes the entire year's budget. So that way we can see exactly what's left, and because we're comparing the year-to-date actual expenses against the year budget, it will show exactly what's left and what we've done to date. That will take out any of the timing issues or things that change from month to month. So if you miss a delegate meeting, you pick right back where you left off because it will be year-to-date information. And then on the final sheet, you'll see the balance sheet. This one is relatively small. It just has current assets and current liabilities. I hope to expand on that so that way we can try to put more relevant data on there because, we still have half a sheet of information that we could put on there. For the month of January, things are on track. If we were to multiply it out for the 3 months for the first quarter, we would still be at a surplus, so that's working out well. The budget versus the January, the only thing that I noticed that was a significant difference from the averages from 2018 were the investigations. Normally we run about 25, 26% or so on that. Right now we're at 48%, which is good. So that means what we've collected in investigations has worked out well. So there's a surplus there. When we compare the 2018 versus 2019 January months, we can see that there's a slight decrease in the expenses. It's only $11,000, but it's enough to show as we keep moving forward, we'll be able to see that, and that should make things a little bit more comparable as the months go on. Do I have any questions about the profit and loss or the balance sheet for the financials for January? Thank you, everyone.
All right. Yes, John? No? Okay. Moving right along. There have been quite a few questions about the golf course. I have sent emails to Lennar Corporation attorney Henry Handler and to the executives who actually came here and briefed us maybe 2 months ago. No response. There's a rumor, I cannot confirm it yet, that the closing has actually occurred. It's not in the title at the clerk of court, but that takes anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. So we'll certainly advise everyone when we get something solid. I got an interesting issue from a couple of new people, and they make a very good point. I was asked, who is it that's sitting up here at the table? Well, you know, it's a joke to people who've been here, but for someone who just walked in the door. So before we go around, at the very end, Sandra Cooper, who is our corresponding secretary, David Boaz, right here, vice president, Barbara Cornish, vice president, Louise Warner, vice president, John Hess, corresponding secretary. Excuse me, you're right. Recording, and he's recording as we speak. Recording secretary, Donald Foster, our CAM, affectionately known as Cam, and Ed Black, our treasurer, and of course Sebastian, our CPA. Huh? Oh, Dave Israel. Well, I didn't really hear the question. All right. So let's go around the table. Who do we miss? Oh, I'm sorry, Dave Israel.
Oh, we've got Stuart.
Oh, Stuart isn't here. I can't identify him. And then there's Hayward. And who is your co-worker?
Marilyn Curtis.
Marilyn Curtis, who will take the votes and operate the IT, should we need it. So let's go around the table for officers' report, starting with Sandra.
Good morning. All that extra time just for me to say, glad you're here and glad you voted. And that's it. That's my report.
Okay, that's fine. And David?
Good morning, everyone. Great turnout, especially for the election. And I want to just say a goodbye to my good friend Barbara Cornish. Not goodbye as a friend, but as an officer. She's leaving at the end of this term. I will miss her personally, and I'm sure everybody here in the village will as well. Thank you again.
Good morning, everybody. I just want to tell you, last month, on the 20th, we had a meeting for AMR. Unfortunately, only 39 to 40 people showed up out of this village. And I know you all must have complaints about different things with the ambulance, so I'm just letting you know. If you don't go to meetings, you're not going to get anything done. I know it's nice to go do things you want, but sometimes you have to go and give up the pool or give up something and go to a meeting. Also, if you see on David's blog, Atlantic Broadband is not in the temple now. They are going to notify you individually by mail, and they will contact you. So there's no number you can really call. There is a number, but they suggest you wait till you get notified from them. The third thing is Comcast. I cannot say enough. This is my last meeting. Please, snowbirds who are leaving, the day before you leave, whether you're connected or not, bring back the equipment. You will be getting a big bill if you don't. So I just want to remind you. Also, in the paper, Bobby Levin asked me to tell you about this. The UCO installation, the last day they're going to take reservations is this Tuesday at 1 o'clock at the UCO office. The installation is going to be at Avantes, right on Jog Road at Winston Trails Golf Course. So you have to fill out a form with what you want to eat, and it's $20 a person. So please, if you're coming, do it before Tuesday, 1 o'clock. And one more thing to say. It has been an absolute privilege to serve the delegates and the residents of this village. I've gotten more back than I have given. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you all here today. I would also like to wish Barbara Cornish well. I know her husband's going to be really happy to have her back. They plan to do some traveling. I will miss her as my office mate. She's been very helpful in getting me started, helping the residents and helping the board members. So I appreciate you. Thank you. I just want to mention we're already turning the corner into the season where people start to leave. Be sure, if you're a board member, that you have the primary contact information for the people who are snowbirds. Get their emergency phone numbers. Get the name of the person here locally who is checking their apartment. Make sure someone has a key. And if there's any insurance information, get that too. If you have any questions, you can come down and see me. We'll work through a plan. You probably need a spreadsheet or a notebook with all this kind of information in it. You never know when an emergency will occur. Water emergencies are frequent, and time is of the essence. I have seen a simple water leak turn into a major mold disaster if you wait. If you get an inkling that something is going on with a vacant apartment, check it immediately and have your insurance company and have your contact information ready, because there's nothing worse than a water disaster that's let go for a couple of months over the summer. We have a very big election going on. If we do not have results by the end of the meeting, check the website or check David's blog. Check ucoreporter.com. It will be on a scrolling marquee right at the top of the website on every page. So I can't mention enough. Get yourself informed by ucoreporter.com or by David's blog. And the best way to reach David's blog is to go to Google and say David Israel blog. And you get it. Thank you all for coming.
All right. I know that I've received some little snarky input. I want to assure you, no UCO hands are counting these ballots. We have engaged an independent firm, an office firm, and they are counting the ballots as we speak. Why did we go to paper? Many candidates, 18 for executive board, and we only have 5 buttons on the clicker. So it would have been a little tricky. 197 signed-in delegates. Marvelous. Clearly, since the quorum is 141, we have a quorum. John, you're up. Oh, it's 117 now?
Sure is.
Oh, but we didn't publish that, did we? All right. Right you are. Thank you. All right. Yeah, go.
Well, I'm glad to see a good turnout today. I appreciate it when everybody comes out to vote your conscience. That affords you the privilege to complain. If you don't vote, you don't have a right to bitch. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone. Well, today is the day, 11 o'clock, Room C, Garbage Town Hall. One day of year, you, the unit owners of Century Village, get to bring your complaints about garbage directly to representatives from Waste Pro and the Solid Waste Authority of Palm Beach County, as opposed to the other 364 days a year when you bring them to me. And I'm grateful for the busman's holiday. It'll start at 11 o'clock. There'll questions before and after. There'll be a presentation from Solid Waste Authority about the rules of the garbage and the contractual relationships at 11:30. So I hope you'll all come. And as an incentive, there are coffee and donuts. And that's all I have to report for this month. Thank you.
As you may be aware, Donald is appointed to the Citizens Advisory Council on garbage. And he may be considered the garbage czar and should be afforded all of the respect that such an office entails. Eddie.
Does that mean we should be delivering the excess garbage to Donald? I didn't think he was happy with that thought. One thing I would like to talk about with regard to Barbara Cornish leaving us. She did make a point of saying, while I won't be on the board any longer, I intend to show up at meetings. And I would encourage a lot of you to start doing that too, because there's quite a lot to learn about what goes into everything we try to bring forward. And we'd appreciate the viewpoints of as many people as we can get, because it helps us make better decisions. Give some thought to joining Barbara in those meetings. Thank you, and have a great day.
All right. Is there any new business to come before Delegate Assembly? Please come to the mic. We don't know a lot of. I heard something about the golf course. As I said, we've got a rumor that the title has changed, but I cannot confirm that. All right, sir.
Yes, my name is Robert Epner. I'm president of Stratford A. I'm a retired paramedic, and I brought up last month. I was kind of blown off, and I'm bringing it up again. And I don't think it requires any kind of ADA compliance. You said it's costs over $100,000. I think it's time, because I believe in, don't know Florida law, but New York, you can be personally liable. So I would appreciate it that the board and the president start thinking about getting this place ADA up to scope, because there's too many people has CVA strokes, broken hips, they're in roll aids, they're running around. Somebody on the board, I don't know your name, ma'am, but you're using you're in a wheelchair, and this place has to be ADA compliant, and you have to start. Thank you. No, it's not.
Needless to say, this issue has come up before, and this would be rather sweeping, including the rec facility, the buses. I hear you. Money should not be the object, but in our community, money is always the first thing to be considered. I'm not even beginning to say you're wrong, because you're right. It would be marvelous if this whole village were ADA compliant, but you folks out there are the ones that would have to vote the appropriations, so think about it. I take your input very seriously.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Les.
Les Rifkin, Stratford J. I would like to see UCO investigate what we could do to stop golf carts that are illegally on the road at night from riding around. They don't have signal lights, they don't have headlights, they don't have stoplights, and this is a very significant, dangerous situation.
Les, could you bring that to security today? You're available? All right, this is good. All right, this has come up before, and the issue of lights and markings it is a problem. Not only golf carts, but walkers. Who do I see? Oh, Myron.
Good morning. Myron Solomon. I'm glad there's a wonderful attendance, and I'd like to bring the attention to all the delegates that our Millennium Agreement will soon be expiring before you know it. And I'd like to know, David, if you've done anything in regard to that. Have you hired a lawyer? Have you gotten a committee? Have you studied what's going on? What's happening as far as our village goes with this new contract that will be forced to sign with WPRF?
Excuse me, David, I have a point of order here.
Point of order. Yes,
Yeah,
Randall.
May I remind the chair that under new business, only motions are acceptable. That is what new business means. If you wish to call for new business, motions only, nobody's got a motion, please move on to good and welfare.
This would be under good and welfare.
Or good of the order.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take this as the last input because Randall's absolutely right. We have had a brief meeting with Mark Levy. It's 3 years away, Myron. It's not like it's critical, but you're right. Time flies when you're having fun. And we have yet to pick the appropriate attorney to assist us in this endeavor. All right?
I don't personally, I'm not a lawyer, but I don't think that we should have any meetings with Mark Levy until we're represented by an attorney and he's present with us at any meetings if you want to have with him before you start discussing a new contract. I don't think Mark Levy should be involved in our dealings, what we want to do as far as a contract goes with WPRF.
All right.
I'm sure, let me finish, please, David. I'm sure Mark Levy does not contact us and put us in his meetings with his people to discuss a new contract.
Is that it?
So far.
Well, keep
I'll
going.
wait for an answer from you. I don't know.
Let's have it all.
No, well, I want to know what you feel about what I just said. I don't think that Mark Levy should be involved with us. We don't go to his meetings to discuss what he wants to do, so I don't think he should go to our meetings. In this particular case, Mark Levy and WPRF is an adversary. Now, we've gone through a wonderful, wonderful contract, the Millennium Agreement, where we've been screwed constantly from WPRF and Mark Levy. This is a very big, important decision for us to make. And I think that you should definitely contact and work with an attorney or a law firm, whatever you think is right, and form a committee to work with you on this particular subject. This is